Alright guys, so I did not do a intro really for this video, but let's get started on these delicious burgers. I'm making a chopping up some onion first for these bar sauces. Bar sauce is gonna have caramelized onions, which is gonna make it really rich and delicious. So it's gonna start off with one onion, thinly sliced as much as possible. Basically, we just want to get these nice and thin as possible so it can nice and cook during the cooking part. And then after that, we're gonna add a couple tablespoons of butter, and then we're gonna add the onions, and we're gonna sweat these off. Make sure to keep your heat on medium to medium low, because we don't want to burn these. We want to start really cooking them down slowly to make caramelized onions, which just kind of takes some time. Add some salt to help increase the cooking time, to help with the cooking time. Sorry, to release the water, because that's what salt's gonna do. And then we're gonna keep stirring this up, making sure it's not burning. I'm gonna use a paper lid as well to cover them so they will evaporate but yet get caramelized, which it looks like here, nice and caramelized. To that, we're gonna add some molasses. I'm gonna put the measurements on down below, by the way. So we're gonna add molasses, ketchup, and then to that, we're gonna add red wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar, brown sugar, Worcestershire, a little bit of pepper. No, I like my pepper. A little bit of ancho chili, some garlic, a little bit of onion powder, some paprika, a little bit of chili powder as well, salt to taste, and give this a stir, and also use a mixer blender to blend up those onions to really combine nicely. And then once you cook it for a couple more minutes, and then we're just add a container and be ready for the burgers. Next up, burger buns. These are going to be a very delicious burger bun recipe, nice and simple. And to that, we're going to add some couple cups of water. Once again, the measurements are going to be on the description below. And to this, we're going to add our yeast. You're going to see me adding yeast to a measuring spoon, but I kind of add a little bit, so it's going to be a little more than that measuring spoon. But we're going to add it to the water and then let it set to the side, so we're going to let that yeast bloom and get activated. Next up, get our flour into another mixing bowl. We're going to add this flour. I'm using all-purpose flour. You can use bread flour. It gives more of a sturdy dough, but all-purpose to me gives more of a softer dough in the end. To this, we're going to add a little bit of sugar. And then we're going to add some salt. I like to add the salt in the flour so salt doesn't disturb the yeast activation. So once our yeast is ready, we're going to add our flour in. And then we're going to put it in the stand mixer to mix it up. Just a couple of minutes, it can get fully incorporated. Once the dough starts to develop, we're going to add a little bit of beef tallow. Been into the beef tallow, it's been giving a really good flavor. Then on a clean surface, we're going to get our dough out. And you're going to see me kind of knead it and give it like a little kind of a slap and fold method. I like this method. It really helps develops the shape I want. And then I'm just rolling it within itself, so it really makes a tight ball. So when it rises evenly. Is this necessary? Not really, but I like to do it. So in a nice grease mixing bowl, you're gonna add your dough, and then you're gonna put it in a warm area, and then poof for an hour. Once an hour up, you're gonna portion your bread dough into 95 grams. You guys want it a little bigger, then you could probably put 100 grams or 110 grams maybe. But for me, I just want a decent size of burger bun, so it's going to be a 95 grams of dough. So once we portion out those doughs, we're going to roll them into an individual ball. I use my hand to roll it within itself and make sure the seam is closed. And then we're going to get a pan ready. I didn't grease it because I used a silicone mat, which doesn't really require any grease whatsoever. It's just perfect for baking. If you don't have that, I'm using parchment or foil even, or nothing at all. Just make sure you grease your pan so the dough does not stick and get stuck to the pan. Have that happen to me a couple times. So you're gonna pretty much put these in a pan, cover them up again with a towel or a plastic wrap, and you're gonna let them rise for at least another hour. Well, it's be mostly like 30 minutes to an hour, depending how hot is your environment will be. So once they proof, we're gonna brush with egg wash, bagel every seasoning. We're gonna put them in the oven at 350 degrees and bake them for 20 to 25 minutes to nice golden brown. It's gonna be very delicious. I really love the bagel seasoning on top of these guys. So the next up is the meat finally. So we're gonna trim up some of this brisket trimmings I saved from the last video I made brisket. That's a good thing about having a brisket. You save you lots of trimmings and fat. So basically what I'm doing here is trimming off any excess fat or any unwanted like silver skin whatsoever. And then I'm going to cube them up and have them perfectly sized for the grinder. Alright guys, so I got a nice baking sheet here. I'm going to put my trimmings down. I'm going to add some leaner beef, more beef to it so it has more of a leaner content to it so it's not too fatty. I really shouldn't measure it, I know, but I kind of just eyeball this, the meat to fat ratio, so I know I should really weigh it. I'm so sorry about that. But again guys, I hope you guys will like this Bible verses coming up, and also put your trimmings in the freezer so it gets nice and firm so it'll be easy to ground up in the grinder. Alright my friends, so now we're gonna start grinding the beef. I got ice underneath the bowl so it keeps the meat nice and cold. It's always good to do that because you don't want this meat to get room temperature, because you get at risk of having the bacteria to really grow on the meat. To save beef, have that food safe knowledge, you just best to have ice underneath to keep it cold as possible. Hence to the grinder is cold as well. I leave it in the freezer. It helps to grind, although you see right now not really doing that, but trust me, it's working. But no, it really does help to make the grind of the process of the grinding really grind really well, because the meat and fat will actually go through it pretty easily and the machine won't struggle. I also need to update my grinder. I've been kind of thinking about that. But yeah, I use a small die to grind it. What my secret is for a good burger is that I grind it once to this die, and then what I do though is get at least some of it, like a third or maybe a little less than a third, and put it in the grinder and grind it for one more time, because what that does is acts like a binder, and that binder will actually help bind the meat together so you don't have to use no egg or anything like that. And then we let it, of course, let it refrigerate overnight. The proteins in that burger will bind up together and really keep it firm, and so it doesn't crumble during the cook time. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm doing like a little grind here. Also too, after you grind it, you just want to mix it up, so just be careful not overly mixing the burger patty. So right here, you're gonna see me kind of mixing, like again, mixing the burger patty. I'm done trying not to overly mix it. It's not good to do that because it's gonna become more of a sausage tasting burger, but you just want to mix it to combine that second grind of meat in there so it really holds up to the patties. And right here, you're gonna notice I did not measure or weigh my patties here. I'm just kind of eyeballing it once again. I really need to be better at that. But what I'm doing is though putting the ring molds here to of course have even shape as possible. I'm just trying to keep that round beautiful shape. I don't have a burger press. I need to look for one. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the comments and I'd be happy to look into that. I really like uniform burger, especially for the smoker and stuff like that. Not too thick, not too thin. You just want enough so you can actually smoke it, but also won't overcook it or dry it up. So putting ring molds, and you guys want it bigger, be my guest and make them bigger or smaller or just like this, you know. So right here I got my smoker ready. It's around like close to 300 degrees. I'm gonna might have it lower it during the cook to like 275 or maybe like 280 mostly, but it's gonna be mostly probably like 3 to 275, right between that range. Right, not towards the middle, but like it's like right in the middle right there. I'm gonna put them on the barbecuer and give them a good smoke. Right now I'm just seasoning like a salt and pepper, simple rub, nothing fancy to it. You guys want to use your guys' find any kind of favorite rub you like to use, be my guest. But at this point right here, I'm just keeping it simple with salt and pepper. And I'm going to place them right here onto the grill and making sure to make sure the temperature does not get too high, because I don't want to roast them in there. I want to just have a nice smoke flavor. Right now I'm going to start flipping them because I realized I see this on one side. So I'm flipping the burgers up so I can season on that side to make sure everything's well seasoned. And then I'm going to sprinkle right here. And then also you notice I didn't put a water pan because I don't think you need it. This is going to be a very short cook. Right here, so close the lid, maintain some temps. Right here, this is a finished product. It didn't take too long, probably like an hour and a half or so to get that perfect smokiness. I brought it up to close to medium well. I don't like too much of a medium rare burger. If you guys like that, then temp as you need. Make sure you cook it to your desired temp. My temp is more towards medium well to well. I have a pan heated. I'm gonna cook them up to develop that crust, and that crust is gonna be delicious and it'll be nice and caramelize the burger and to really bring out that smokiness for some reason. Because when I cook them, you can really smell the smoke. I add another patty because I think I want another patty. But I flip them, you can really see that crust though. That crust is really developed just as well. It's like almost like a reverse sear method that I'm using for these burgers, and that is delicious. So I added cheddar cheese. I didn't use American, I use cheddar. I'm a big fan of cheddar. What I do is add a little water to it and cover it with the pan to create that steam to melt the cheese. And it's looking delicious. You can see that crust is developing really nice with the other one. I did that too so you guys can see that crust feel to it. Right here, let's assemble the burger by adding a little mayo on the bottom bun. I love mayo on my burgers. What can I say? And then I made some homemade pickles. If you guys want a video of that, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to make a video about how making homemade pickles. So I put a couple slices there. Next up, of course, the star of the show, the burger with the cheese melted. You can see the cheese oozing off the side. And then I'm going to put some onions. I'm going to love onions on burgers. To me, it's delicious. Throw some onions in there. And then next up to finish all off is a good barbecue sauce. And that's what I'm going to put on top of the bun with that homemade barbecue sauce. It's nice and rich, sweet, delicious. I think you guys are going to like this barbecue sauce. It really came out really good. Highly recommend making this. And top it all off. And to me, that's a good barbecue burger. Give it a little slice to show you guys the temperature I like. Please don't judge me, be nice. But to me, it's quite impressive that it's well done, but has a smoke ring. And look at those juices, nice and juicy.
Alright guys, that was the burger, smoke burger. My god, that thing's good. That thing, light smokiness, which I like, but yet you can taste the beef, you could taste the pickles, the barbecue sauce. That barbecue sauce is pretty delicious, by the way. It's nice and tangy, nice and sweet. I feel like it would go good with pork ribs or pulled pork. It has that North Carolina vibe of like that vinegar heavy sauce, but yet has that Kansas City vibe with a ketchup based barbecue sauce. To me, that's delicious. That caramelized onion for that barbecue sauce too really elevates it to a whole new level, because you can taste that caramelization and that sweetness that it has. Delicious. I highly recommend making that barbecue sauce. Delicious, guys. Although it takes a little longer than your typical barbecue sauce, I think it's well worth it. Again, highly recommend to save those trimmings, make your own burgers. You won't be disappointed. You can make meatloaf, and that's another thing. I might do like a barbecue meatloaf. That'd be a cool video to do. Well, my friends, I hope you guys liked this video. Please hit that subscribe. I appreciate, and all the guys that are new to this channel, I welcome you with my open heart. You're my family. You guys are awesome. Please hit that like, destroy it, share with your friends, and all that good stuff. And be safe out there. Remember, Jesus loves you. And have a nice day. God bless.